radical idea. Imagine doubling the federal minimum wage.
I can't do this! No way!
Rich kids, they deserve to get a free education. That is what democracy is.
Wait!
What's up, guys? Benny. There's something called the Munich Security Conference. It takes place in Munich, Germany, in order to try and prevent war on the European continent and around the world. To get an invitation here, you have to be smart and powerful. You have to be a head of state, diplomat, a military leader, top brass you're talking about. So I'm not exactly sure how AOC got an invitation, lowered the total IQ of the conference by about 70 points. Nonetheless, AOC is there testing the waters for a 2028 presidential run, not just mixing drinks, although I'm sure she's great at that. AOC is actually speaking on panels at the security conference. So how is that going? And more importantly, and firstly, why is she even there if the world's going to end in about 18 months?
Millennials and people and, Gen Z and all these folks that come after us are looking up, and we're like, the world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. And your biggest
that would be 2028
is.
So she said this.
Your biggest issue
about 2028.
Is how are we going to pay for it? And this is the war. This is our World War II.
This is a World War II. This is a World War II. It's pretty amazing that she's in Munich talking about World War II as climate change. Let's see how it's going for AOC. How about just an obvious question? One of the hottest military and economic zones in the world would be the China Sea, Taiwan versus China. China wants to go and take back Taiwan. Taiwan wants to be independent. America is backing Taiwan. And this has the potential to potentially spiral out of control into an actual war between America and China. Many people expect this. So AOC, let's field this very simple, very predictable question. What should happen if America goes to war with Taiwan? Go.
The U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
I think that this is such a, I think that this is of course a very long-standing policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point. And we want to make sure that we are moving
no, you're retarded. Oh no. Oh no. AOC. AOC. What the hell was that? That's completely unedited. There's no meme added. There wasn't.
Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
A minute straight. I've heard you saying.
I think that this is such a, I think that this is a
Today, Junior.
They're gonna run her for president. Okay, here we go. Here's another one. AOC pontificates that we can't just capture leaders because their countries are below the equator.
We look at what happened in Venezuela, for example.
Venezuela.
It is not
Venezuela.
It is not a remark on who Maduro was as a leader. He canceled elections. He was an anti-democratic leader. That doesn't mean that we can kidnap a head of state and engage in acts of war just because the nation is below the equator.
So here's the equator. Here we are. Let's zoom on over to Google Maps here. Okay, here's our whole world. Here's the world. And here is the equator. Pretty famous. People know the equator. It is, the demarcation line between north and south. And here above the equator is the entire nation of Venezuela. So it's not, in fact, south of the equator. AOC mocks Marco Rubio because he's talked about how the Spanish brought horses and created the American cowboy.
From Spain to Western culture. My favorite part was when he said that American cowboys came from Spain.
I thought they came from Winnie too, but
I believe the Mexicans and descendants of African enslaved peoples would like to have a word on that. Rubio.
This is your brain when you get all of your education from TikTok. The roots of the American cowboy culture are traced directly back to the Iberian Peninsula in Spain. Spain also, has cowboys, and they introduced the first horses to the Americas. AOC says that whiteness is imaginary, and it's no different. It needs to be differentiated into being English, French, or German.
Culture, difference between whiteness and national, like your actual culture, right? Whiteness is an imaginary thing. Being German is real. Being Italian is real. Being English. These are rich cultural heritages that are based on values, and they are so much a part of what make our cultures and our societies what they are.
I love it. She needs to run. She has to run. AOC is polling right now, number 2 for president for the Democrats. She has to run. This is your brain on left-wing socialist ideology textbook. Somebody needs to ask AOC if black people exist. Do black people exist? AOC will insist that brown people are real, black people are real, and even people of color, whatever that means, are real. White people are imaginary. Totally indefensible horse shit rooted in open disdain for white people. Runner for president. Here's my full endorsement. Runner for president. AOC on Venezuela doesn't know where Venezuela is. Venezuela is fully north of the equator. No part of Venezuela, which is a huge country, is south of the equator. All-time great community note. The roots of the American cowboy are actually from Spain. AOC shouldn't engage in actions like below the equator. Just wait until AOC discovers who colonized Mexico. Oh, man. Okay. AOC should probably refrain from doing talking, especially abroad. The way she pronounces Venezuela and Maduro, 0% of Venezuelans below the equator. This is the intellectual leader of the Democrat Party. Please let it be. Oh, man. Okay, one more. We can do one more, right? The social experiment of taking a 20-something-year-old cocktail waitress and putting her in the United States House of Representatives is going exactly like how you'd expect. Let's listen.
Inconvenient. I think what we identify is that in a rules-based order, hypocrisy is vulnerability. And so I think what we are seeking is a return to a rules-based order that eliminates the hypocrisies around when too often in the West we'd look the other way for inconvenient populations to act out these paradoxes.
It would be so insulting to ChatGPT to say that sounds like a ChatGPT answer. Literally impossible for cowboys to have been here before the Spanish because horses weren't here before the Spanish brought them over. Idiots. I used to think AOC had room temperature IQ. Now I think it's below freezing. Seeing AOC on the world stage is so cringe. Now imagine her as president. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, they've got.
This is
they've got to make her the candidate.
I think that
they got to make her the candidate in 2028.
this is a
You have to be. I'm full team AOC. Where I'm going to start the campaign website right now. Put up a sign in my yard. This has got to be it. her versus JD Vance, Marco Rubio. I don't care. I don't care. It's got, like, this is what we need. This is the pick me up I've been looking for. This is what we need. Just run Donald Trump a third time. We're gonna win. We're gonna win. We're gonna win. We're gonna win. If you're not tired of winning, I'm in the chat. Like, share, and subscribe. It's your boy Ben.